Christopher. Beverly. Beverly. Living in Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills. Rolling like a celebrity. Beverly. Beverly. Living in Beverly Hills. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games
and
board gamey things.
Exactly. We are here with a little bit of a monthly game recap where we're going to be talking about 5 standout games that we have played over the past 2 months. And I say 2 months because we didn't do any kind of a wrap-up the month before the one that just happened, which was March. So March or April. So we're going to do a quick little stat roundup of our stats from games played in March and then April, and then we're going to talk about 5 standout games, and that's how the cookie is made. Let's start with March. We didn't do a wrap-up of March, so here it is. We've had a big couple of months because February, remember, was insane in the membrane, and March also insane in the membrane. So we played 199 plays, and we played 98 different games in the month of March. Okay, now
we made up for April.
April was less good, although we're gonna say it, and you're gonna be like, "That's not." But you know, this is just who we are by nature. We just can't stop, won't stop, is what some might say. So anyways, 199 plays, 98 different games. That does include BGA games. And speaking of BGA, just want to give a shout out to After Evenfall. Okay, After Evenfall is a newer YouTube channel. She has a channel all about board games, and we would highly recommend her.
Yes.
So go check her out. Jeff played 39 games with her on BGA.
And I think I won all of them.
What? No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't believe you.
Bailey can confirm.
Bailey, can you confirm? Anyways, we'll link her channel below. You should definitely go check her out. She's new. She's great. She's awesome. So there's that. And Jeff played so many games with her. But March, we also did the Gameathon. Okay, so we did a Gameathon wrap-up, but that definitely contributed to a lot of obviously, the plays that we did. So if you'd like to watch the Gameathon wrap-up, I will link it below. We talk about all that silliness. But we also had GaggleCon.
We did.
So March was just like
Game City.
It was Game City. So for anybody that doesn't know, GaggleCon is a little mini local con that we do with our good friend Rodney Smith and his wife, and we just go and we play games. They did an Easter egg hunt for me, and it was the best. I got so many chocolate Easter eggs. Yeah. It was amazing. But we played some really great games. Actually, all of them are going to be talked about in our standout games. So we'll get to that later. Yeah. But we played I can't even remember, but it was 30-some games in a long weekend. We went there for Easter. So anyways.
I think it was around 30, yeah.
So that was March. Fantastic. Now, April was a little bit slower.
Yeah.
We were tired. We were busy. A lot going on. Yeah. So we ended up playing 116 plays.
Jeez.
And 63 different games.
Yeah.
Okay, so just, not as many.
No, it's true.
It's just not as many. But
it's all relative, right?
It's all relative. I did want to say, though, in April, we had the chance to go to CircleDC, which is a wargaming convention in Washington, D.C., hosted by Fort Circle Games. So we were invited to go, and we didn't do a wrap-up video or anything, so I just wanted to very quickly chat about it, because I think for both of us, it was one of our all-time favorite conventions that we've ever been to.
It might be my favorite.
Yeah. So just for context, now this is a smaller convention. It is invite only, I believe, but it grows every year.
Yeah, they're trying to build it up every year.
Exactly. And it is primarily focused on wargaming. So Jeff and I have dipped our toes. We've dabbled in the war games like Cuba Libre. We've done, what's the other one? Distant Plain. We've done a few different war games.
I also love Four Circles games. We love Shores of Tripoli and Votes for Women. Yeah.
Yes. So it was just such a great experience because it was a totally different group of people that we've never gotten to meet or hang out with before. We got to play so many great games. A lot of people bring their prototypes to this convention. So we did get to play Night Witches, which was one of our most anticipated games, I believe, of this year, from David Thompson and Liz Davidson, and it was great. We got to play with Chris Yee and Wendy Yee from the Dice Tower. We were, co-piloting. We're on a team, but hope not to sacrifice each other, all that good stuff. So we got to play that. We got to play a few other prototypes, but one thing that really stood out to me that's not on our Standout Games list is we played through a bunch of Undaunted Battle of Britain.
We did.
And it was really, it's just like you don't get to sit down and dedicate time to like playing those scenario-based games, and we got after it.
Undaunted had started to kind of like, not slip, but I didn't give Undaunted enough of an appreciation in my top list that I think it deserved.
Yeah.
And now having played a bunch of that, and I'm still playing Normandy,
With
like,
Dolan.
Undaunted is...
So good.
It might be a perfect game system.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's so good. And I'm really happy that we brought Battle of Britain. So for anybody that doesn't know, Undaunted Normandy is the first in the series. Battle of Britain kind of introduces like planes. And so you're battling through ships, so the movement is a little bit different. When I first played it, I was like, it's a little bit slower than Normandy, but it is because of that, it's more strategic. And we played I can't even remember, like maybe 5 scenarios of it while we were there. And it's like an addicting game.
And David Thompson was there, and he is an incredibly lovely human.
Yes.
And meeting him and Liz and Kevin, who runs Circle Games, and Volko.
We got to meet Volko.
All of these... Cole and Drew and
we met so many amazing
all
people.
Of these amazing designers was honestly probably a highlight of the last 3 years we've been doing this.
I agree, yeah.
And we get to spend some really like intimate time with David and Liz specifically, which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I have nothing, there's not enough things I could say to express my appreciation to get to go to an event like that and experience all of that.
Yeah, and it was in Washington, D.C. It was our first time in Washington, and Washington, D.C. is beautiful.
I'm
all
very
capital letters.
Excited to go back.
Me too.
It was amazing.
Wait. It was awesome. I'm so excited, and what it did for both of us, I think, is it just invigorated us even more to encourage more people to try war games, and maybe we'll even do a video, like an intro to war games or something like that.
And I will just flag, there are multiple people, some of the ones we just mentioned, that are working diligently to make wargaming more accessible to everyone. And being part of that journey is really important for us.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see some of these new age war games come out.
Same Z's. Okay, so those are the stats. A little bit about what we got up to.
Oh, and we got to meet Jason.
Yeah.
GMT.
We got to meet a lot of people from GMT.
So many amazing people.
We just got to meet so many people. Yeah. It was amazing. Okay, so good. Let's talk about 5 standout games from the past couple of months. And actually, what's interesting is all 5 of these, plus I actually have an extra one because we all played at GaggleCon. The first one that I actually want to talk about is an older game. And
it's going to crack my top 50.
Rodney put it on the table, and I was like, what's going on here? It's these little cups with dice, and this game is called Dice Town. Jeff, tell the people about Dice Town.
Dice Town is kind of a poker-themed game where you have a bunch of dice, and you're going to shake those up, and you're going to put them on the table, and you can keep some, and you have to at least keep one, and if you don't, you have to pay to not take any, but you have to at least keep one, or it might be 2 or something like that. But ultimately what you're trying to do is get all of your dice faces to kind of work out to be certain things. So kind of Yahtzee-esque.
Yeah,
sometimes you want, and poker-esque. So there's like a bunch of different spots in this dice town that you can go to or will trigger based off of what you roll in your little cup and what's at the in front of you at the end of your turn. And it's kind of pokery where like if you have like 5 aces or whatever, you're going to get to do a really cool ability, basically.
Whoever has the most queens.
But everyone can kind of trigger different things depending on what they have. And it's just this raucous good time. I don't know how else to describe this game to make you understand how fun it is. It's just fun. It's just such a fun game for no other reason than just being fun.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I was obsessed with it. The first
we played
time
it twice.
we played it, and I was like, I could play that all weekend and be completely content. I could play that over and over and over again and be completely content. I absolutely love Dice Town. I desperately want to add it to our collection because
it's on Board Game Bliss for $43.
That is a game that I would 100% introduce to people that are new to the hobby, and they would
love it.
Love it.
They fall in
it's
love.
such a perfect intro level silly game that that people that are deeper into the hobby also will have a blast with.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I freaking love that game.
It's one of the beautiful things about doing GaggleCon is that we do play it's like half old games, half new games, and we get to discover some games we probably never would have experienced before. Now, like I just said, Dice Town is on Board Game Bliss.
Yeah, I should probably
so we should probably buy it.
Yeah.
And speaking of Board Game Bliss, I don't know if anybody knows, but we have an affiliate link. You can get money off of your...
You can.
The information is down below, but you can get some kind of percentage off of your order. I think it's like maybe 10% off of your order. Don't
Something
remember.
like that.
You have to pay a certain amount.
Money off, though. All you got to do is use a code.
It's down below, so we'll leave that. We buy from there all the time, so it's good times. The next one on the list is now let's move into a new game, and that is Raising Robots. This was my top game that I wanted to play when we went there, and boy was I not disappointed. This game, it's kind of like a Kanban-y game.
Yes.
It's just like you are building this force of robots. Basically, it's like a worker placement game. So you're placing out your little robot or meeple or whatever, and then you're going to be doing the corresponding action. There's a lot of resource management in order to kind of like place out these robots that are then going to trigger to give you more...
Kind of like Wingspan.
Kind of like Wingspan, yeah. It's almost like a tableau builder as well. And I just think like it's adorable. Like the robot artwork was so cute. And
10 out of 10 artwork. Cuteness.
But it was also so fun. Like, I just had such a good time.
I really liked it, too.
I want to get it so badly. And, like, everybody plays as, or, like, you can get more of these little inventor cards. And they're, like, actual inventors, but as children. And I actually think, like, Elizabeth Hargrave is in there as, like, a designer, which I think is really cool. But if you have a chance to try this, I would highly recommend it. I thought it was so great. We all loved it. Yeah, desperate to get a copy and play it again.
It was really good. We also got a chance to play a advanced copy. Ours has arrived since, though, and that is Skyrise from Roxley Games. Skyrise is a area control game, but really you're just looking for adjacencies and trying to bid on putting out your... biggest buildings, basically.
Your Skyrises.
It's this really unique and incredible little puzzle of like, you can get outbid. You have a bunch of different building sizes, and if you put out certain building sizes, you can get outbid by taller ones. But once those are placed, they're out in that round, and then you proceed to round. There's 2 phases, basically. So you can get some new buildings that'll be a little bit more powerful, but that's basically all you're doing. There's objectives, and you have a little tableau in front of you, and you're trying to like build up these combos of scoring points, essentially, and you do that through a multitude of different ways, basically, and certain areas are going to have little tokens that you can pick up. It's really just this point combo-y bidding area adjacency type game that's very, very beautiful, and honestly a bit unique. I've not really played anything like this, and I had an absolute freaking blast with it. It was so fun, very straightforward. Bidding is not normally a thing we enjoy, but we've discovered, I think, that we enjoy bidding when it's not like, hey, I'm going to bid 5, well, I'm going to bid 6, and I'm going to bid 7, like, You know, it's not really like that. If it's got like some bidding, but it's almost kind of just
like raw. We
bidding
really
adjacent,
like raw.
kind of.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, Skyrise. I'm really excited to show people around us this one.
And we did back this one on Kickstarter, and this is like the fancy version.
Yeah.
Because that's just how we do. So pretty. Loved it. Loved it. Standout game. Next up, I'm going to talk about, so we actually have 6. It's fine.
Here, I just want you all to get a little behind the scenes info here. Jamie gives me lists of things. She's like, which ones do you think we should talk about? Because she doesn't want to decide. So then I'll decide. And then she just doesn't listen to me anyway. She just picks the one she wants to pick. And I'm like, so then why ask me? So this is exactly what's happening right now.
Because there are just so many games.
Because I didn't pick the one she wanted to talk about. And I'm just like, why didn't you just pick them yourself?
Because I liked all of them. The one that I want to talk about is called Coffee Rush, and this is from Korean Board Games. And it is, to me, it's such a unique little game, don't you think? So basically,
you guys all loved it way more than I did.
I loved it. Your fingies are too big for it.
I was terrible at it.
So basically, there's a little board in the center of the table with your meeple, and you're moving around like a certain number of spaces based on what your movement ability is, and you're picking up ingredients. And why do you need ingredients? Why? That's right, because you're making coffee orders. And what makes this game so unique and special? Well, they give you teeny little plastic cups, and if you're picking up a bean, well, guess what? You're picking up a little coffee bean. You're putting in a little cup, and then you're going, oh, do you need some steam? Whoop, whoop, you put the little steam in your cup, and you're building a drink. But guess what? If you put the wrong stuff in the cup, idiot, you made the order wrong. And that happened to Jeff a couple of times.
Sure did.
So anyways, you're just building coffee orders, but like what's really interesting is like the orders are going through like this almost like a queue conveyor belt. And as you complete an order, the 2 next people after you have to pick up new order cards. So like the more orders you complete, you're filling them up with orders that then they have to complete, and it's just making it more challenging.
Get pissed off customers.
Exactly. And then there's different things that you can unlock. So like you can move diagonal or you could do whatever. To get resources. I really enjoyed this game. I just think like, yes, it's very gimmicky because of the little whatever, but I thought it was awesome. Like I had a super fun time playing the actual game, and though it is a very easy game to like learn and play, it is actually like you have to think, because like Jeff and Chrissy were just getting like hammered with orders. I don't know. I loved it.
I do have an appreciation of one aspect of this game, that they were able to encompass the chaotic nature of real-time games without making it real-time.
But it wasn't
this is not a real-time game, but it invokes similar feelings, but not to the same anxiety-inducing level. Like, real-time games for me, I have a hard time playing because I just get super anxious and I just end up like blocking it out. This one has an order structure, so it's not real-time. You have the time to kind of do things, but it still invokes I don't know how to explain it other than just playing it.
I know exactly what you mean.
It was 100% unique. I will give it that. It just wasn't quite my cup of tea.
Next one, Jeffy.
Next up on our list is a older game, I believe. Maybe not.
I think the big box is the newer.
We played Radis. Radis is a plague-themed.
Like Kingdom Plague themed.
Plague-themed area control game where you have meeples that you're trying to manipulate around on this board of Europe, I believe, if I remember correctly. And there's like this plague doctor that's moving around. And all of these areas are going to score, but like you're moving this plague doctor around, which is like just like killing off people, and you have to remove your meeples, and they get moved from place to place by other players. And certain areas are only going to score at certain times, so it's this really interesting tug of war between everyone around the table, making sure their meeples are in the right spot, but also not letting other people screw with your territories through the plague doctor or through movement cards. So like kind of trying to like position yourself away from everyone else is important, but then they can just put their little meeple there, and then they're able to action in that space. It was just a really awesome, fun area control-y game that was a bit different than anything I've played. It is very mean, but I very much enjoyed it. And I didn't think I would because it just didn't seem like something I was going to like, but I very much enjoyed Radis, and we now have a copy of it.
We do. And what the one thing that I wanted to mention that I really loved is there's like these ability cards that you can get, and then but you can also like take them from other people. And there was this one person or whatever that Christy and I kept going back and forth and allowed you to go to the castle, send people to the castle. And if you're in the castle, you're safe
from the plague.
So Christy and I were just throwing people in the castle. Rodney and Jeff were fighting each other, and we're just like, okay.
All right, we'll go to the castle. I don't think Rodney or I had anyone in the castle.
You didn't. It was just me and Christy. It was great. I think,
I should have mentioned that. Yeah, there's like these characters you will get. That let you break the rules a little bit and do extra things, and you're fighting over these.
Yeah, I can't remember like specifically. Like one was like a king or a gardener or.
They all let you have a specific like asymmetric power, basically. Yeah. But you're constantly shifting these players around the board depending on things you do. It's a high interaction, very mean,
and
very,
the Meeples
very
are
fun.
rats.
Yeah, very fun.
Or no, they're not.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
I don't know why you said that.
Remember, I had one that was broken, though?
Yes.
And she was really little. Okay, so last one, we just can't, I feel like it would be a miss if we didn't mention this because we played it and then went and bought a butt ton of it, and that's Star Wars Unlimited.
I wish I could find more to buy a butt ton more of it.
So we played this at GaggleCon. We did a blind, what's it called? Trade box opening?
We did a draft.
Blind draft. Sealed draft.
Yes.
Sealed draft. And like we just did that for fun, but we pulled all these cool cards and we played, and the gameplay is very fun. Even if you're not a Star Wars fan, I would say that you would enjoy this. Now, if you're curious about like Lorcana versus Star Wars Unlimited, like Lorcana, like it's the art and it's the world that I love about Lorcana, but the gameplay of Star Wars Unlimited, I would say is more fun if you're curious.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think there's a place for both of these games to coexist. But yeah, I prefer the gameplay in Star Wars Unlimited. I prefer the card art and world in Disney Lorcana.
And what's I find so interesting, so in Star Wars Unlimited, you have a leader, and then you have like a base, right? And there's
very Star Realmsy.
It is very Star Realmsy, and what I thought,
and Star Wars deck buildery.
Yeah. So you want, like, your leader and your base are going to have certain colors on them, and you're trying to build a deck around those, but you can have any colors or...
You just have to pay for it.
Yeah, you just have to pay for them when you play, which I think is really interesting. So, like, as you're kind of building the deck, you're like, oh, well, I need to get a lot of green and tan because that's what my everything is. And I just thought that was really cool, too, because, like, I had a really strong card, but I had to pay, like, 9 in order to play it or something.
I love that it's one action. You get one action on your turn.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. You do play your energy or whatever down, and then you play one action. You do one thing. That's it. It's so good. Yeah. And like there's these avenues.
Units and air
there's
units.
Land units and air units, and they can only like kind of attack each other. And then there's your leader in the middle. It is a very, very smart system of play. Yeah. Very smart.
Then we happen to find, do we only get one booster box? We can only find one?
That's all I've been able to find. I would buy another if I could find it.
It's just fun to open up stuff. I just really enjoy doing that. Anyways, that is definitely a standout game for us that we're looking forward to playing more and more of. I think this is like, just based on like how you can literally, like, even the starter decks were fun. Yes. Anyways, so those are some games that have stood out to us recently that we wanted to share with all of you, but that is everything. And now it's the month of May. We're going to BGG-Con. I'm going to Toronto to Canada Plays. So will we get a lot of games played by the end of this month? Girl, you know it, because BGG-Con is going to be lit.
Bump 'em.
If you're going to BGG-Con and you see us, it's going to be bump 'em. Okay? If you're going to BGG-Con and you see us, please do say hello. We will be there. We have like barely any agenda. We're just going to have fun and play games. It's going to be great. Yep. That is everything that we have for you today. So if you're interested in buying board games, like any of the 98 plus whatever games that we played last month, the last 2 months, or any that we talked about today, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is
the Boardroom Game Cafe.
And now if you like what you see,
Please subscribe.
we hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye!
There it is. All this reminds me of every time I read it. I'm trying to see if Kyle can guess it. What do you think this reminds you of?
Twilight Struggle?
No, like the name of it.
Cascadero.
Is there anything you can think of in pop culture that...
Cascadero. Is it for an Office reference?
No, it's not The Office. Think when we were kids.
Cascadero.
Canyonero. You remember that?
No.
You don't remember that from The Simpsons? Oh,
Wait, say it
never
again.
mind. It's like the Canyonero truck.
Oh, I think I know. Yes, I do remember that.
12 yards long and 2 lanes wide.
Yeah,
65
it had like a
tons
theme
of
song.
American pride. Yeah, it's a song.
Yeah.
Canyonero.
Right. Are you ready for this? Y'all ready for this?
Yep. Let's go. Let's get her.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Jeff rubbing his neck.
Channel all about
Neck rubbing.
And
neck rubbing things.
neck rubbing things.
Good? All right, Jeffrey. Is that going to be very distracting for you? Jeff got a new laptop. Jeff, show everybody your new laptop.
No.
Mine's nicer. Florida. One hell of a drive.